Yeah. Call Loyum Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who were well. Salutations to the Akim and the four winds preaching the truth and sincerity, risking their lives, their freedom, more so now than ever. Unto the hopeful elect, the elect, Shalom. To the Israelite foreigners whose phenotype may look like another nation, but your bloodline goes back to Israel and have come back to the fold, Shalom. To the sister Akwaf listening in silence, Shalom. Hey, this your brother Aram Yahawada with the lesson. It says a wrong way driver hits trooper, right? State trooper, vehicle, two other cars on Loop 202 DPS, right? Um, let's see. So this is Tempe, Arizona, westbound 202 Red Mountain Freeway. Basically, it's the freeway. Red Mountain Freeway. In Tempe, is closed at Loop 101 after Arizona Department of Public Safety says a wrong way driver struck a trooper vehicle and other cars before crashing head on into a third vehicle. And this type of thing is going to be happening more often, right? The more and more they dealing with these certain frequencies, especially now, even on a regular basis, during so-called holidays, people get depressed around holidays, and then you got the thing with the frequency, you got the thing with the um, the CV19, all these different mandates and lockdowns, and people losing their jobs, and people losing their lives, and they're going to be losing their minds. So, like the elders say, Apostle Gabar and Apostle Tahar say that when people lose everything, they lose it, and that's what's happening right now. Everybody's losing everything, and everything that they're losing now they're going to lose it. Yeah. So this is Habakkuk chapter 2. I'm gonna go verse 4, and if you come and read the whole thing, just above it, it speaks about a vision, right? If you have for an appointed time, you know, and that vision eventually it's not going to tarry, which those are the things that's happening now. It's not going to tarry. It's not tarrying. It's starting to come. I mean, and you got to ask yourself, why did this verse go in from that right into this? It says, "Behold, his soul, who is his? Who is the he? And how did it just jump from the vision is yet for an appointed time? It should, though it tarry, wait for it should surely not tarry." Roughly paraphrasing, it's not going to tarry. How did it just jump into behold, which means feast your eyes upon, look, pay attention, right? His, who's the his? Well, through through the elders on down, and then just your own observation when you're if you got discernment through the spirit, the his is what Esau Edom. His spirit, which is lifted up in him, was the self-proclaimed so-called white man. Esau Edom is not is his spirit, his soul, which is lifted up in him. Behold, his soul, which is lifted up, is not upright in him, which means righteous. It's not equipped to do what's righteous. It's not equipped to do what's upright. But the just, right, starting with the Israelites, but starting with the elect of the nation of Israel, which is you know, starting with the men of of great millstone, Lord willing, you know, and I'm that I be one of those men that the Lord had set apart from the beginning as far as the elect, right? Which is dealing with the nation of Israel, shall live by his faith, right? And this is the faith that the Lord has bestowed from the elders on down, right? And the Lord has given you your portion of faith, your measure of faith, right? Yea, also because he transgressed by one, Who's the he? Who's transgressing by wine? Esau, Edom, right? And you got to think, man, how did the Lord just come and say, he is a proud man, neither a keeper at home. He enlarges his desire as hell, right? When you think about America, um, well, America's fairly a new country, or what they say is a country, which really is a corporation, but it's a fairly new country as far as what they say it is. It's been in war more than it's had peace, right? So they've never been at home, and you have not had actual war in America. That's why it's the virgin daughter of Babylon, right? It's the virgin daughter of Babylon. So, um, and everywhere the military goes, what is desire as hell, who enlarges his desire as hell, which is the grave, and is as death, which when you die, you get put in the grave, right? And cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations and heapeth to him all people. Because even when America uh, goes certain places, they build military bases where they're at, and they try to get the people to, you know, right? Because that's how you know that they're Rome, because that's what they try to get you to do. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. That's what they try to get you to do. They got the Philippines making it the first Asian country making it legal for same sex. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. So these are the things that they try to get people to do. So Salakia. It says, shall not all these take up a parable against him? So all these other nations, they're tired of this man putting his philosophy or his wine, his mentality upon everybody else. When in Rome, do as the Romans do, right? Because it's the second leg of Rome, which is America, NATO, and EU, right? But mostly dealing with America, because America is the face of all that, right? America's the face of all this, right? You know how they get you to try to sell something. They'll put a famous person to sell the item. They'll put a famous face to sell the item. That's America. America is the famous, basically like that famous face to the rest of the world, especially in its heyday when it was, really flourishing. All places went, oh my God, look America. Oh, that looks so tight. Oh, look at Hollywood, and oh, look at those lights, and look at how New York looks, and oh my God, oh man, they would have damn near thought America was the kingdom. Like they come over here and thought it was gonna be paved with gold or something. Like just the height of America's thing. That's how people felt. But now people shall not all these take up a parable against him and a taunting proverb against him, watch against America, and say, woe, which means destruction, weeping and gnashing of teeth, and that's what's coming. Woe unto him that would increaseth that which is not his, right? And America from the beginning. You go to different countries, taking their uranium, their gold, their oil. You take that's what's not yours, right? You took America. You took, when we deal with NATO, EU, they took Europe, all of Europe. That didn't belong to them. You know what I mean? North America, South America, Australia, those same places that's supposed to be so-called gathering to fight against Russia and China, those are places you took in. So you increase that which is not his. How long, right? So this is the prophet Habakkuk saying, how long will we have to endure this devil going around taking everything? But it's not much longer, because we're here. It says, and to him that layeth unto himself thick clay. And you go into that, the thick clay, which is abatyat, weight of pledge. And if you're going back into Deuteronomy, I'm not going to do it right now, but look it up yourself. Go to Deuteronomy. A pledge is basically like a loan. When you take a pledge, you take a thing and you exchange basically something to get your pledge, so that way to know that you're going to come back and pay for it, like you leave like collateral or whatever. That's basically like a pledge. It's like collateral. You're leaving something of valuable to them to let them know that you're going to come back and you're going to pay it, so you can collect your valuable back, right? It's a pledge, which is basically like a loan. It's basically you're in debt or heavy debt, a batyat, right? Heavy debt. And that's America. It's in heavy debt. And now it's going to get worse. People are going to be doing wrong way drivings, driving off bridges, jumping off buildings, all sorts of things, because what? The debt, the heavy debt, and then the craziness behind the so-called variant and another variant and another variant and another variant. But I mean, you're 10 variants in, and things don't seem, things are not worse than when this thing first, before it even happened. Yeah, there's a couple people that died or whatever, but you got so many new strands, and you're saying this is worse than the next one and the next one and the next one, and people are not dropping dead like how you say. It's not adding up. And that's just the point. And you know it's not adding up. But now they're gonna have to do something different. But the point is, this is that country. This has to be America. This has to be Europe, certain places in Europe, because I know all of Europe, they're not all in debt. Because I think England's not in debt, and certain other places they're more financed. That's why they had the Brexit, right? Which that goes into prophecy, because it said that you're going to break apart, partly strong, partly broken. That's you. Now you're breaking apart from them, from the ones they're broken. You're strong, and they're broken, and the Lord said you were going to break apart. So there you go. That's how you know this is NATO, EU, and America. Yeah, so this is Revelation chapter 9, verse 4. And it was commanded them that they should not hurt the grass of the earth, neither any green thing, neither any tree, but only those men or women, right? Because you women like to think, because it says men, that it's not talking about women too. But it is talking about women too. That's why there's men and there's women. Come on. Which had not the seal of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai in their forehead, right? So all you that don't have the seal, you're gonna go crazy. You're gonna drive down the street, one-way street, to crash into a bunch of other people, and ultimately all those other people who died or got hurt or whatever, that was judgment of the Most High. Ultimately, right? And to them it was given that they should not kill them, but they should be tormented 5 months. So like those that don't have the seal of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, okay. There's some people are gonna die, and then some people are gonna wish they can die, right? Because that's what it's gonna say. They're gonna be tormented for 5 months, and their torment was the torment of a scorpion with when he striketh a man, right? And those days shall a man seek death. So then you're going to be seeking death and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them, right? Because the Lord has so much power. He's going to bring forth apparitions, man. The Lord is going to bring forth apparitions, right? It says, nevertheless, Helidorius executed which was decreed, that which was decreed. Now, as he was there present himself with his guard about the treasures, what the treasure of Israel, just like eventually, they would get it. They got the treasures. These Edomites of Greece and Rome did get the treasures of Israel later on, right? About 65 AD to 81 AD. When they had, they even did it and set a monument of it on the Arch of Titus, right? When they got it, called, but this one's the Lord Yahweh, which is the Most High. Yahweh, He is the Father of spirits, right? The Lord of spirits, and the Prince, which is Yahweh Shai, right? Which is His Son, His Prince. He's the King, the Lord, and then the Prince of all power, which is Yahweh Shai, caused a great apparition, so that all that presumed to come in with him were astonished at the power of Yahweh, and fainted, and were sore afraid, right? And this is really what's going to come in these last days too. The Lord is going to send forth apparitions, right? The same way He did in Egypt, right? The Lord said that it was so thick you can touch it, right? Matter of fact, let's go to that, because that's exactly what's going to happen. Yeah, so this is Exodus chapter 10, verse 21. And Yahweh said unto Moses, stretch out thy hand towards heaven, that there may be darkness over the land of Egypt. And America is spiritually Egypt, right? Because you have oval lips and all sorts of things actually from Egypt. You go to Central Park in New York City, and there's an oval lips that got shipped from Egypt back in the early 1700s, right? And they put it in Central Park. I think there's a couple of more, and then you got the one that's in DC, right? And you got a lot of, there's a lot of Egyptian things, a lot of Babylonian things that's here, in America, right? Which is spiritually what Sodom and Egypt, dealing with those Hamitic gods, right? Right. There's a place in Illinois called Babylon, Illinois, right? You have a place called Memphis, Tennessee. Memphis is from Egypt. So this is basically a place that's spiritually Babylon, and is also spiritually Egypt, which that's America all day. So thickness over Egypt, even darkness over Egypt, which is America today, going to be which is going to be, also America. It was then and it's going to be now. Even darkness which may be felt. And that's what the Lord is going to do. There's going to be more people killing themselves, driving down the street, down the wrong way street, killing themselves and a bunch of other people. That's going to increase. Right? Yeah. Matter of fact, so I'm not just making it up, because the Lord said this is it's going to happen again in another Egypt, in a spiritual Egypt. This is Revelation chapter 11, verse 10. And when they shall have finished their testimony, which is talking about the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom, which is that the 1,000 years that Esau, Edom was in their caves and they were slaves and they were underneath us, and then the other ones were in the Caucasus Mountains, because it was familiar like Mount Seir, right? It says the beast, which is this last beast, right? Because Daniel prophesied about these 4 beasts, which is talking about dispensations or rulerships, or what do you call it? Ages, a specific time that these heathens were going to rule over Israel and over the world. But we're at the last beast, where this is the last time a heathen is ever going to rule. So this is that last beast. This is the 4th beast. And it says, the beast that ascended out of the bottomless pit. That bottomless pit is where Europe, right? Because Europe do not have its own natural resources. This is why America is the front. Like I was saying, America is the front face of all this stuff, for them to go out and war and do all these different things, and then give most of those benefits goes to Europe. Most of the oil that they still, because if you think about it, they talk about oil reserves and this and that, but America oil reserve is not as big as it should be. If you're going off to Afghanistan, taking all these oils and all this other stuff, you know why it's not? Because it's headed to, they always end up giving it to Europe. They always end up giving it to Israel. And none of that really actually comes here. America's just the face of all this. But the things is, when these nations get angry, they're going to be angry at what? America, because America, you're who we see. You're not the actual power behind this, but you're who we see. So all the missiles are going to get shot on America. So it says, and it send it out of the bottomless pit, which is Europe, shall make war against them, which is talking about the saints, the Israelites, and shall overcome them, right? Because which we went into slavery, you know what I mean? Right? Starting with Gad, Ephraim, and then later on they came and got Judah, Benjamin, Levi in the 1600s, and had Gad or Ephraim and Gad in the 1500s, right? Right? And had Judah, Benjamin, Levi even before that, right? Because Judah, Benjamin, Levi was in Europe, because we ruled Europe for 1,000 years. So they took down Judah, Benjamin, and Levi in the European countries first, and then they got Ephraim and Gad, and then went and got the other Judah, Benjamin, Levi that was in Africa on the West Coast, and brought us basically all together to be, well, not everybody, but a big bulk to be into captivity or serve our bondage in America, in a place, right? And to make war against them and to overcome them and kill them, because that's what they did. They damn near wiped Ephraim out. They damn near wiped Gad out. Millions of so-called Negroes were thrown overboard, crossing the Atlantic Sea, to this part of the world, right? Millions more killed, million more gagged, and they end up, trying to get the land between was it New Mexico, no, Texas to California, right? So Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, California, all those places killed off Issachar to get that land. So that they made war with them, the Israelites, right? With the saints of the Most High. To kill them, and their dead bodies shall lie in the street of that great city. What city is that? Babylon the Great, right? Right? Mystery Babylon, which is in Revelation 17, Mystery Babylon, right? Which is the daughter of Babylon, according to Isaiah 47, right? Which is daughter of Babylon, right? And yeah, so the daughter of Babylon, to keep going, and it's where we at. So it says, yeah, that great city, which is daughter of Babylon, or Babylon the Great, which spiritually is called Sodom, right? Sodom, dealing with homosexuality, right? Which is, and then that's Hamitic. That's a Hamitic culture. They bring a lot of Hamitic gods, Hamitic culture into America. And in Egypt, right, where, right, Egypt is Ham too. But in Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified, which means they just X'd him out. They gave you a Cesare Borgia. They gave you a different doctrine. God loves everybody. He's not mad. He don't care. He loves everybody. But yet you kill God's people, technically. You know what I'm saying? You could put drugs and all sorts of things in the ghetto, the barrios, the reservations, and drum up all these different things on your news media, which is witchcraft, and pump it on your witchcraft, that how bad the so-called black man is, how bad the so-called Hispanic man is. And the bad thing about it is, even some of our own people develop that mentality about us. So it works on some type of level, right? Yeah. So this is 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 10. Behold, my people, which are the Israelites, like I was saying, the so-called black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, which were killed by these Edomites, right, is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt, which, like I said, is America now. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with the plagues as before. And that's why I was saying that thick darkness, that you could touch it, is going to happen again in America. And there's going to be more people who's going to want to kill themselves and won't be able, or some people will be able, depending on how the Lord feels and how your judgment goes out, as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. Egypt shall mourn, and the fountains, and it shall be, yeah, because that's how you know it's not talking about ancient Egypt, because ancient Egypt is no place right now, right? I mean, you got them mingled people over there, which most of those are Edomites, but you got those mingled people, which is Arabs, means mingled, right? You got those mingled people over there, who's not really the actual Egyptians, right? But nor is these Edomites. You're not the Egyptians, but yet you got a lot of Egyptian customs. You got the pyramid on the back of your dollar bill, which is going into what? Bondage. Going into your New Ordo Seclorum, which you're trying to bring in your New World Order, right? So here we are. But the lords of Egypt shall mourn, and the fountains of it shall be smitten, and with plagues and punishment that Yahweh shall bring upon it. They that till the earth shall mourn. Hey, and they're doing that now, because Bill Gates is buying up all the land, and then the government is telling them to kill your crops. We'll pay you out. Kill your crops. Don't grow no more. They're making an artificial, basically food crisis, right? So they're mourning. For their seed shall fail, though the blasting and hail, through the blasting and hail, and with a fearful constellation. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. And that's what's really coming, man. Woe unto the world. The Lord's going to bring forth apparitions. It's going to be the stock market's going to crash. You ain't going to have no money with the stick debt, a bot yet, and all this debt and all this different things. People are going to get more stressed out, and they're going to be driving down the wrong way, killing themselves and a bunch of other people. People are going to be jumping off of bridges and buildings and shooting each other and shooting, murder, suicides. All sorts of things are going to happen. The Lord said that they shall separate. It should be a separation, right? So, father from the son, and the son from the father, and the daughter from the mother, and the mother from the daughter-in-law, or the mother-in-law from the daughter-in-law. So it's going to be all sorts of chaos and all these things. And the Lord said that's just still the beginning of sorrow. So call Loyum Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to the Akim in the four winds, preaching the truth in sincerity, risking their lives more now than ever. The hopeful elect, the elect, Shalom, to the Israelite foreigners whose phenotype may look like another nation, but your bloodline goes back to Israel and have come back to the fold. Shalom. To the sister Aquaf, listen in silence. Shalom, death to America.